The man of the hour, let's welcome him. He's been a brother to me for, I don't know, maybe 30 years or so. We've done quite a lot of work around diversity. We've done a great deal of work around equal opportunities, management, and some work really at the cutting edge of transforming organizations. He's the visionary for the chamber. He's the guy who said, well, let's not leave it to UKTI. Let's not leave it to the chambers that are here, because we have particular needs as Africans. We have particular needs as Caribbean people. So let us form our own chamber and establish something which can live on beyond the individuals who started it. I hope he's just saying farewell for now, and we'll be back. You've heard from his chairman and the founder that they have a global viewpoint, and we will be calling on them to ensure that you do bring him back. Because if you try to steal him from us, there may well be an incursion, an invasion in Lagos where we come and take him back here. So, Fola, where are you?
I'm going to do what I don't normally do, and I'm going to disappoint Clive because he says that if you give me the microphone, I would wrap it on. One of the first rules for a chief exec is not to overshadow your chairman. And you can see my chairman has given a wonderful speech. So I'm not going to attempt to do that. But really, she has said it all, and also the founder as well. I've known quite a few people in this room for 20, 25 years. Most of you know what I'm about in terms of what I stand for, my values, and the way I sort of live my life, and what I feel is important to portray as an African. I remember maybe 23 years ago, sometimes when they ask you in this country if you're an African, you kind of think about it twice before you say, oh, maybe, and if they make the mistake to think that you are an African American, you think, yeah, yes, I'm a black American. But actually, now it's ought to be African, isn't it? So when you say, are you an African? You say, yes, I'm an African. I'm Nigeria. Because actually it is ought, and it is a good thing. Joe mentioned some of the work that we've done, and it is not a coincidence that we are in the Unison building here. Some of the work that myself and Joel and some of the other people have done, when we see what is happening in the UK today in terms of the young people growing up and able to walk tall, go to the big companies in the city, getting jobs. It fills us with a lot of pride because we know that it hasn't always been like that. And we hope that long may that continue. But my focus is very much now on Nigeria and on FISD. My soul is in Nigeria, although I've spent quite a lot of time in the UK. And actually, I'm glad I've spent some time in the UK because it has allowed me to meet some really wonderful people, people that we've spent time together. We've walked different journeys. Some of them are in this room today, and I will make a mention of that. But just quickly talk about FISD itself. You can see that I'm in good hands. So when I'm leaving the UK and I say I'm going back to Nigeria, you can all see why I've done what I've done. Because I'm in good hands, and you can see that. And that is important for me to say that. And I feel comfortable, I feel safe in the environment that I'm in. When I was in Lagos a couple of weeks ago, and the pastor introduced me, I said I felt, and I still feel, that I'm in the right place, at the right time, and with the right people. And that's important for me to say that. Telling the African story. That's what I'm about. And Clive has mentioned that. And we're always talking to Clive about how we can position and how we can talk about what is happening in Africa. For me, really, it's about the stories and it's about the success stories and what is going on. There are always going to be issues that you'll grapple with. Every country has that. It doesn't mean that, if you can believe it, some people are selling holiday to Egypt. And some people are getting on the plane and going to holiday in Egypt. So if that can happen, why would you not want to come to Nigeria? What is going on in Nigeria that is not as bad as what is going on in Egypt? I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, we need to understand what is going on in the country, and we need to understand the very positive things that are happening. And FISD is one of those positive things. When I got to know about the organization, I was staggered and I was surprised about the breadth of the work they've been doing. We're going to show you a video about some of the work that FISD has been doing over the last years in terms of entrepreneurial development, developing young people to set up their own businesses. And not just stopping at that, giving them the money to set up those businesses. Most people know that even in this country today, that does not happen. Because the structure we had in place, the business links that used to give money to small businesses, has folded up. Now, FISD has been doing that for the last 5 years, and they are going to continue doing that. And I think that is something that is worth celebrating. So that got me excited in terms of what they've been doing. And when you look at some of the successes they've had as well in Lagos State is a very tough place. It's a very competitive place. And when you are successful in Lagos, you are successful in Nigeria. And when you are successful in Nigeria, you're already successful in Africa. So I said to the board, you are already one of the largest social enterprises in Nigeria. And so my vision for the organization, and I said to the board, is to develop it further, increase our footprint in Nigeria, and also increase our footprint in Africa. So in 5 years' time, you are going to be hearing about FISD in Uganda, in Cameroon, in Kenya. And I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be doing that. Because the foundation has been done, the work has been done, with the right people, the board of directors, and the vision that they have. I see absolutely no reason why that cannot happen. I feel I've been given the keys to a room full of treasures. Not riches, not money, treasure. And it's up to you what value you put on the treasure that you find in the room. The value I put on the treasure is the realization that we can make a real difference. We continue to make a real difference in the emerging Nigeria, in the next 5, 10 years. What gives us the confidence that we are going to deliver that? I know that I've got a supportive board. I know that with the right type of attitude and the right type of motivation, we can deliver and achieve all the things that we can. I'm going to give you a little story to illustrate what I mean by having the determination and the right environment for quality and to deliver. In 1990, I was at a conference in Istanbul. It was about total quality management. And one of the speakers was the general manager of Mercedes-Benz in South Africa. And he said that Mercedes-Benz in South Africa wanted to present the late Madiba with a special Mercedes-Benz S-Class. And they all knew that they were going to make this special car for this special man. And so they got working on this one car. When the car rolled off the production line, it had about 50 faults with it. Normally, those cars have 400 faults. But because the workers knew that this car was going to be made for Mandela and it was going to be a special car, they reduced the number of faults from 400 to 50. Now, you can imagine if they applied the same level of diligence to the cars that they produce on a daily basis, how much money they would save Mercedes-Benz. So that was a turning point for the general manager. He now turned around to the workers and said, oh, so you guys can work and make cars with 50 faults. So that is going to be the benchmark from now on. What I'm basically saying is that the benchmark for the work that we're going to be doing at FISD is going to be based on that. It's going to be based on excellence. It's going to be based on us making sure that we deliver in the right place, we deliver with the right attitude, and we deliver the right motivation in the communities that we're going to be working in. For me, it's an honor and it's a pleasure. I'm excited by it. I'm looking forward to it. And again, to show you how much I'm looking forward to it in terms of what I can do, again, I'm going to give another example, and I think I'm going to stop on that before I give all my thanks. Some couple of years ago, Mercedes-Benz had an advert for the S-Class. This was at a time when the S-Class was being challenged by all the other cars, or the other car manufacturers. And so Mercedes-Benz put a lot of their effort into making the new S-Class. And one of the adverts they had said, all that we know in one car. You can imagine that. Every single thing that Mercedes-Benz knew in their history, they want to put all of that, the knowledge, into just one car. So they made that car, and today the S-Class is still the number one luxury car. So what I'm saying, in effect, is I'm putting all that I know into this role in the FISD. Thank you very much, everyone. To finish off, I'd just like to say, really acknowledge some people in the room, and it would not be fair for me not to do that. My wife is in the room today. She doesn't normally come to these events. I'm always traveling all over the place, and I'm so sure sometimes she's thinking, okay, yeah, you said you're going to this place. Well, I'll see you later. You're going to that place. I'll see you later. But she's been very supportive in terms of the work. I spent not a lot of time at home in the last couple of years, and she has really supported, and she's been very close to me in terms of what I want to do as a person. And I just want to say thank you to my wife. She's there. Shayo. You can see that she's very beautiful. A friend of mine said, oh, Fola, she didn't look like. I said, yeah, that's my investment that is going in there. So, also, I'd like to say a big thank you to my sister. She's here, Ms. Benkwekuye. We've been together here in the UK, really, in the last 20, 25 years or so. And she's been very, very supportive. Everything that I want to do, I say to her. She says, yeah, Fola, go for it. And she's always there supporting me. So I just want to acknowledge and say thank you to her as well. There's some people in the room that I've known for a long time. I can see my brother from Cameroon, Julian Ebai. I and Julian met 22, 23 years ago, and we've stayed friends since then. He's been very close to me. We meet up and we talk about things, and we talk about Africa. He's indeed a real brother. Thank you very much for your support, Julian, every time. I appreciate it. Of course, Mr. Ajayi is a big egbon to me. Thank you very much for your support as well. I really appreciate it. And also, Akin Omishadi and some of my guys from my alma mater, I should say, Loyola College, Ibadan. We've been friends since 10 years old. So we've been friends for over 30 years. So thank you, Akin, for coming here, Loyola College. We always win the day. That's what we always say. But last but not the least, Mr. Joel O'Loughlin. Joel, he said it, to be honest. He has been more than a brother to me. He's been everything. We've traversed this country. I don't think there's a single city we haven't been to in this country, especially when the employment service wanted us to be going around the country doing some training or something like that. But he's been a real friend from 20, 25 years ago. I can come to his house, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. He opens his door. He counsels me. He gives me advice. He supports me. And he has really, really been a rock. And I don't think in terms of my own personal development, but professional development, I wouldn't be here without people like Joel supporting and giving the right level of advice. So, Joel, thank you very much. I've really appreciated everything. And I know you're coming to Nigeria before the end of the year, so that's no problem with that at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for coming. I really appreciate you being here. I know we had a bit of some teething problems in terms of change of dates, but it's great that everybody, you've made the time to come here. I really feel blessed. I feel privileged that you've come out to do that. And so thank you all very much. We look forward to working with you in the future, FISD, and reaching great heights. Thank you all very much for coming.
I'm beginning to tear up now. And for those of you who like automobiles, there are other makes of car available. Fola loves his Mercedes. Well, we're near the end of our proceedings, and we only have the vote of thanks to give, but let me give you all a personal vote of thanks. We are a network, and we're going to give you an opportunity to do some networking, and there will be some interviews with one or two of you, which we've set aside so we can mark this occasion. So do make yourself available at least for the next half an hour or so. And again, thank you all. Fola, as a brother, you know, I am always here for you. So if they ever give you up, come home. And people don't give him up easily. People don't give him up easily. Can I ask Mrs. Shirley Ocradia to come from the board of Fountain to give the vote of thanks? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. To bring this many people here on a Monday evening is incredible. Thank you very much for coming. FISD, very close to our hearts, and to support FISD, it's important, first of all, to understand who this visionary is. I can only sum him up in the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, "It's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness." And for 19 years I've known him. FISD is just bringing together under one umbrella what he's done over 20 years. If you believe in Fola, even more so you have to believe in this man. And of course our chairperson, wonderful woman, very capable, determined. And for all of you that will support FISD, I want to say thank you. Thank you for making today possible. Thank you for being here on this great launch. We're going to launch it again in Lagos. As many of you as can make it, you're most welcome. But for tonight, I want to say thank you. And as you go home, I wish you well. Thank you and God bless.